Morning. It's Monday, October 5th, and I have to talk to you again about COVID-19 and the White House. Now, the White House relied strictly on testing to ward off the COVID-19, and that's what put the White House at risk. Because a quick test of the type they were using is perfectly okay, except that you're negative on that particular day. Then, of course, you march outside feeling very healthy and off to a rally you go. And at this rally, you don't wear a mask because I've been tested and I'm negative. And all the people around me have been tested constantly. Well, as we now see the results, recognize the fact that that's a fallacy. Yes, the test worked. And we're not sure that this test is 100% perfect. But the test worked. It showed you were negative, and it showed those who were positive. But that doesn't mean that your actions after you have taken the test are going to prevent the COVID-19 from striking. And it did strike. So the strategy didn't work. The everybody's being tested strategy didn't work. The strategy was no match for the virus. And it ought to be an example to everybody. But I don't know how many people are really paying attention. And then we have a gentleman in the Senate, Senator Johnson, who has refused to wear a mask, and he's down with COVID-19. And so are 2 or 3 other senators. And I don't know if those people are mask averse or if they've been following the proper social distancing. But this thing is spreading like wildfire, and it's not stopping. And nobody has come forward and said, you know what? Enough of this bullshit. There are no rights. It's time for everybody to mask up. Now, I don't know if the president really believed that taking a test was a barrier against the virus. But the tests are not barriers. All they do is provide information. Tests are not vaccines. The test says you have the virus or you don't have the virus. And that's all it's doing. So for anybody out there who has taken a test that is negative, you still have to be prepared to take the appropriate actions to protect yourself beyond the test. So I got a test and I'm okay today. That doesn't mean if I march off into a crowd of people to celebrate somebody's birthday or a wedding or a funeral or a rally that I'm going to walk out of that place okay. We are seeing this disease spread again. It's increasing. It's increasing, and it's increasing in communities that are not paying attention. We have places where the incidence of the disease were low, but now they're spiking again. And it's coming on the winter season. And we expect a natural spike because of the cold weather. And the predictions are 400,000 dead by December 31st, the year 2020. And if you look back at this year, you're going to say, I lost a whole year of my life because COVID-19 was stronger than we were. And the White House issued a statement that the president takes the health and safety of himself and everyone who works in support of him and the American people very seriously, and that they followed all the guidelines when they were testing. But they didn't follow the guidelines for limiting COVID-19 exposure to the greatest extent possible because they didn't wear their masks and they went to rallies. And so you got a bunch of people at the White House that are now infected, and that is a serious breach of, I'll call it, security. We have people who are sick and they're working in the White House. And we're supposed to be leaders of the free world. Well, half of our leadership is down sick somewhere. That's not a good thing. According to reports, by midday Saturday, many administration officials and allies of Trump had tested positive for the virus, including Kellyanne Conway, Mike Lee, the senator from Utah, Ronna McDonald, the national Republican Committee Chairwoman, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. All of these people tested positive. Why did Christie test positive? Because he was prepping the president for the debate. He didn't do a very good job. The president didn't do a very good job at the debate. And the reward that Christie got for prepping the president is a dose of COVID-19. Now, one could say that's poetic justice. And I know it's difficult for people to control themselves. And it's difficult to keep living in isolation. And it's difficult to go every place with a mask on. And if you don't care about living another 10 or 15 or 20 years, or maybe just 1 year, then you could do those things. But you can't do those things if you're among the leadership in this country. You know, leadership leads in many cases not by what you say, but by what you do. You set an example. So just a word of caution for all of you out there. Don't do what the president does. He is not an expert. He's not an expert at anything, really. And he ignored the advice of Dr. Redfield and Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx because he knew better. So now he's in Walter Reed getting the finest medical treatment in the world. And that type of medical treatment is not available to you, the average American citizen. So my advice to all of you is wear a mask and stay safe. And don't follow our leadership in this particular case. And I'll leave you with that till tomorrow morning.